The old police station stands at the end of a quiet street. It is a skeleton of a building. The sign is half gone, letters missing like lost teeth. Its windows are dark, vacant eyes staring into the night. A cold wind snakes through the broken panes. Inside, the lights are weak. They flicker and buzz. Long dancing shadows twist and writhe like living things. Old case files, thick with dust, lie scattered on desks. A rhythmic dripping sound echoes from the ceiling. Each drop falls with a soft, persistent tap, a tiny, maddening heartbeat. Elena Cruz steps through the decaying doorway. She pulls her long coat tighter, a futile gesture against the chill. In her hand, she clutches a small bag. She is a rookie detective, driven by a need she cannot quite name. Tonight, she is here to reopen a case that has slept for 15 years. They called the killer the Whisperer. Her boots crunch softly on the gritty floor. She raises a flashlight. Its beam is a solitary spear cutting through the thick darkness. The air is heavy, stale with the smell of old paper. Something else, something metallic and faintly sweet. She notices a cardboard box filled with old cassette tapes. A faded, handwritten label on one catches her eye. Confession tape, case 09. With a click, she inserts the cassette. The machine whirs to life, spools turning with a soft, scraping sound. Then, a voice emerges from the speaker. It is a whisper, thin and dry like autumn leaves skittering across pavement. The sound is intimate, a cold finger tracing down her spine. The flashlight slips from her grasp, clattering to the floor. The whisper continues, a faint, looping echo. The tape was recorded long before she was born. How could it possibly know her name? A shadow flickers in her peripheral vision. Elena freezes, her heart hammering against her ribs like a trapped bird. She snatches the flashlight from the floor. The beam wavers as she sweeps it across the hall. The heavy oak door groans as she pushes it open. Inside, a small, suffocating room. It smells of dried blood, mildew, the faint, acrid scent of fear. A single metal table, 2 chairs bolted to the floor. On the table, a small portable tape recorder, stained with dark, reddish-brown marks like old fingerprints. A cassette inside, thin brown ribbon visible through the plastic window. She reaches out, hesitant, and presses play. The door slams shut behind her with a deafening bang. Darkness deepens, only the recorder's small red light glows. 2 voices fill the space, weaving in a chilling duet. One voice is hers. She recognizes it instantly, though she has not spoken.
Tell me who you are.
You already know. You brought me back.
The walls seem to contract. The room grows tighter. Thin, dark red lines ooze from cracks in the plaster, weeping like bloody tears. The one-way mirror fogs over as if someone breathed against it. Slowly, letters form in the condensation, drawn by an invisible finger. The letters cool on the glass, stark and clear. Confess. Elena stares at the word etched onto the mirror's surface. Her breath catches in her throat. The air grows thick and heavy, pressing in on her from all sides. The whisper from the recorder seems to curl around the letters, giving them a life of their own. She feels an overwhelming urge to wipe the glass clean, to erase the command, but her limbs feel like lead. Her recorded voice speaks again from the tape, a question she doesn't remember asking.
What do you want me to confess?
The silence that follows is more terrifying than any answer, a deep, listening void that seems to be waiting for her to speak. She takes a tentative step closer to the mirror. She extends a trembling hand and touches the glass. Her fingertips come away wet and cold, not with condensation, with something thicker, stickier. The word confess remains, a ghostly imprint on the surface. Her own reflection is a pale, distorted mask, staring back at her, eyes wide with a terror that feels both foreign and deeply familiar. A filing cabinet in the corner of the room rattles violently, its metal drawers screeching as they slide open and slam shut of their own accord. Papers flutter out, dancing in the air like pale, frantic moths. Papers settle on the floor. Elena's flashlight beam darts around the room, revealing dust, then decay. The phenomenon stops as abruptly as it began, leaving only the sound of the tape and her own ragged breathing. The whisper on the recorder changes its tone, becoming softer, more persuasive.
You remember, it says. Deep down, you just need to open the door.
Her gaze falls upon a single file that has landed at her feet, separate from the others. The paper is yellowed and brittle with age, the corners curled and stained. With numb fingers, she picks it up and opens it. The document contains a small, black and white photograph of a stern-looking police officer. His eyes are dark and intense, and a faint, cruel smile plays on his lips. His name is printed below the photo, Officer Michael Cruz, her father. The man who vanished 15 years ago, the same night the Whisperer claimed his final victim. The name hits her with the force of a physical blow. Michael Cruz. Memories, fragmented and sharp, pierce the veil of her consciousness. Her father had worked in this station. He had walked these halls. He had known these secrets. She is not just a detective reopening a case. She is the case. He hadn't just investigated the whispers. He had created them. He had hurt people here, silencing their cries within these very walls. He had sewn a mouth shut to stop a voice from speaking a truth that would have condemned him. He was the Whisperer.
He couldn't silence you, it murmurs. Your voice was too strong, just like mine.
A new horror dawns on Elena. The voice on the tape wasn't her father. It was his first victim, the one whose spirit had become trapped here, bound to the magnetic tape that recorded his last words. Footsteps echo from the end of the long hall. They are slow. They are heavy. They are deliberate. A shape detaches itself from the deepest shadows and steps into the flickering light. It wears the rotting remains of a police uniform. Its face is a gaunt mask. Its mouth is crudely stitched shut with black thread. It does not blink. A man who once loved the authority of the badge, now a prisoner of it. It is her father. It is the Whisperer. The apparition stops just a few feet from her. It raises a decaying hand. A small folded scrap of paper falls at Elena's feet. She stares, paralyzed by a primal fear. With a monumental effort, she bends and picks it up. The words are scrawled in a jagged, desperate hand. Finish what I started. It is not a request. It is a command. It is an inheritance. The figure points a bony finger toward the confession room, then slowly fades back into the oppressive darkness, leaving the scent of grave dirt and regret hanging in the air. She wants to run. She wants to scream. She wants to break free, but she cannot move. The recorder is still playing in the other room. Her own voice now speaks in a steady, calm monotone. It is saying things she does not remember, confessing to sins she has no memory of committing. The tape tells secrets that have lived under her skin her entire life, truths she never knew she carried. The station seems to breathe around her, a living entity that has waited 15 years for this moment. It demands a new truth. It demands a new sacrifice. Her scream tears through the silence. The lights flicker one last time and die. Everything plunges into absolute blackness. Days later, new officers enter the condemned building. They find the confession room undisturbed. The recorder still sits on the old table, batteries somehow still running. A fresh, neatly printed label covers the old one. It reads, Confession Tape, Case 10, Elena Cruz. The last sound on the tape is a soft whisper, sliding into the silence like silk, like cold. The Whisperer never left. He just found a new voice.